Our next visit with spirit producers will be at Turkey Shore Distillery, where 18th century recipes and techniques are used to produce rum.
So Turkey Shore Distilleries was founded in 2010, and the idea really behind Turkey Shore Distilleries was to try and resurrect an old New England style rum that had long since disappeared from the American palate. So we based ourselves historically on an old distillery that opened here in Ipswich back in 1770, and that was located along a stretch of the Ipswich River known as Turkey Shore. John Hurd and a partner bought into this distillery. Hurd also was a housewright at the time, so he'd also built my parents' house, and then later sold that house to his brother Nathaniel, who was the distillery manager. So we had this wonderful local tie-in with this old distillery that sat right in my backyard, and we sort of said to ourselves, you know, this has got to be something that we can bring back, something that's very distinct to being a New Englander that has been lost to time, that we really wanted to bring back and show people what that type of rum was like. So everything you see here at Turkey Shore Distilleries is really a nod to that past, when rum really was king around here. So what we're doing here is trying to mix in the molasses with the water so that it's fairly mixable, so that the yeast can actually consume the sugars in that molasses and convert that into alcohol and CO2.
So is that yeast and water at the bottom?
So right now it's just water mixing with the molasses. Then we'll mix in the yeast. The molasses is too thick in order for yeast to be able to consume the sugars in its pure form, so we have to blend it with water.
Now over here you say that this was already done earlier?
So this was done earlier, so that the yeast has just been pitched, and it should start to ferment sometime this evening. And it will just eat all the sugars in that molasses, and by morning it should look more like a boiling cauldron.
I can actually smell the molasses.
Yeah, very strong, very wonderfully sweet smelling. So it's all grade A molasses, comes up from Louisiana. And so it's the purest form of molasses, so it creates a very clean, easy distilling rum, which also happens to be very historically accurate to the time period that we're trying to mimic, which is around the 18th century here in New England. So John Hurd, on top of also being now a distillery owner, was a housewright and built houses. He built my parents' house, the Hurd Lakeman House, in 1775. Captain Richard Lakeman was away a lot. It was a split house. And he later sold the house to his brother Nathaniel, who was the distillery manager. So we have two full-time rums that we keep on the market at all times. The White Cap and the tavern-style rums, which are our white unaged rum and our barrel-aged rum. We also rotate two spiced rums on the market throughout the year. In the purple label is the Greenhead Spiced Rum, which comes out in the spring, a nod to our friends who show up in July. It is the white rum infused with lemongrass, green tea, and mint, very herbal, but wonderfully refreshing in the warmer months. In September, we transition over to the Golden Marsh, which is that bright orangey yellow kind of label, and that is a blend of the aged and unaged rums with cinnamon, nutmeg, clove, allspice, vanilla bean, orange peel, those type of baking spices that are very evocative of colder times of year. So that is all unaged white rum that needs to be labeled.
Can you say unaged?
Yeah, so everything that comes off a still comes off clear. Only through barrel aging or through artificial coloring do you actually get colors out of it. So that comes off a still, we run it through a filter, and then we bottle it up at 80 proof. So now it just needs to have labels applied to it and boxed up ready to go out to the consumer.